Welcome to ET Now Startup Central, India's first and only daily show dedicated to startups and entrepreneurship. I'm Chandra Srikanth, joining you live from India's startup capital, Bangalore, and we have a power-packed lineup over the next 20 minutes.
And I'm Kumar, coming to you live from ET Now's Mumbai studios. First up, a look at all that's making headlines in the world of startups. Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg reacts after India's telecom regulator bans free basics. Meanwhile, Twitter is divided on the TRAI verdict, with some saying that a government ban goes against the principles of free markets. ET Now Startup Central heads to Silicon Valley, an exclusive interview with Live Likes founder Saswat Panda, who's changing how you and me watch sports in the future. Tech major Wipro looks for acquisitions to shore up demand. Chief Strategy Officer Vishad Premji tells ET Now that targets remain companies in the digital space as well as startups. We're kicking off a new series on the show today called Next Big Star, where we put the spotlight on cardekho.com, an exclusive chat with founder Amit Jain coming up. It's another feather in the cap for India-born Google CEO Sundar Pichai, who's now the highest paid CEO in the US after a record stock grant. And in our special segment, Best Advice Ever, we get you legendary Silicon Valley venture capitalist and serial entrepreneur Guru Raj Deshpande, or Desh, sharing the best advice he ever got in his career. But before all of those stories, first up is the all-important reaction of Facebook founder and CEO Mark Zuckerberg on that TRAI regulation that ensured effectively that there will be no free basics in India, isn't it, Chandra?
That's right. It would have certainly been a very disappointing post for Mark Zuckerberg on Facebook because in a post late last night, he said that he was, of course, disappointed with the telecom regulator's decision to do away with free basics, but that Facebook continues to be committed to the cause for promoting connectivity, and it will use other means to ensure that India is a more connected country. He also spoke about how internet connectivity can help in larger causes such as lifting people out of poverty, spreading education, also helping a lot of people find jobs. But clearly, for now, the battle has been lost by Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook CEO Sheryl Sandberg too replied to that post, saying that while they are disappointed, they will continue to persevere in the larger cause of connecting the world. Now, Krishna, surprisingly, Twitter yesterday was very uniform in the way it celebrated TRAI's verdict, but today the opinion became very divided. I guess you have more details on that.
That's right, Chandra. Twitter was divided on the final TRAI order upholding net neutrality. While the majority said it was a historic day for India, a section said government interference was anti-capitalist and it goes against the principles of free markets. Here's what trended on Twitter on this contentious subject. Excellent that people, you go on your screens, a decision against free basics. Another reminder that in India, organized elite activism will always trump what helps the poor. Those are reactions coming in from what is essentially a divided Twitterati on TRAI's judgment yesterday. Good reasons to cheer TRAI's stand on net neutrality, but it's morally indefensible to celebrate a ban on free internet for the poor. That's coming in from Manu Joseph and Sumant Raghavendra, saying they're a bit mystified to see folks chiming in now, criticizing TRAI's differential pricing ruling and calling it anti-free market at all. And that is Nitin Pai. Some reaction to the hashtag net neutrality decision are so sanctimonious and so wrong that, well, I hashtag fell off my chair in my air-conditioned room. On to the big, exclusive, and it's way more than an exclusive because we have a Silicon Valley hero right here on ET Now Startup Central, because virtual reality body cameras, and the Internet of Things are set to change the way we watch any sporting action in the future. And guess what? An Indian is at the forefront of all of it. We're talking about Saswat Panda, the man who took the winning prize at NFL First and Future, a startup competition hosted by the Stanford University Graduate School of Business. His startup, LiveLike, emerged victorious in the home viewing category, wowing the judges by showing what sports watching will look like in the future thanks to virtual reality. Now, as the pictures are showing you, LiveLike lets fans watch the game, any game, from multiple viewing angles through a virtual reality headset. On ET Now Startup Central, we get you this very, very special report all the way from Silicon Valley. Take a look.
ET Now Startup Central is coming to you from Silicon Valley today, the heart of innovation and starting up. And the startup we are tracking is one that's making waves in the area of virtual reality in sports. We are joined by LiveLike's co-founder and CTO, Saswat Panda, a Mumbai boy whose venture recently won Stanford Business School's startup contest in the gaming category.
The idea is that watching games at a stadium is actually an extremely immersive experience, and it's something that can't be replicated anywhere else. And the benefit of VR is that it allows you to go to places you've never been, as well as to places that aren't generally accessible. And that's kind of where we fuse the two together. So we realized that VR enables us to bring sports fans to the stadium to watch live games.
Started with a prototype, took it to a few broadcasters in Europe. They loved the idea, even though rudimentary in nature, and they were like, they kind of gave us the confidence to, go ahead and actually build it out from there on. And that's why it's 1 year and 3 days ago that this started officially.
So what part of the technology is yours?
So what you see over here is actually a virtual reality headset. The hardware is being made by Google, Apple, and a bunch of other manufacturers at the moment. What we do is we actually build the software that is powered on, say, your mobile phone. And so everything that happens when you put on the headset and everything you see around you, the 3D world that we generate, the experience of sitting at the stadium watching a game with your friends wherever they are, all of that's what we actually develop.
Who would say is your competitor? I know when you're coming out with this, there might be other folks that are having similar ideas, but it's always who's first to market, right?
Yeah, so there are a few people in the market who have come out, from a virtual reality perspective, of people who are working within. There's a company called Jaunt VR, which is one of the biggest in the market. There's Next VR, which has done a couple of live streams already with the NBA. There are a few other smaller players as well. From the point of view of where we stand in the tech stack, so to speak, most of the other players in the market are coming from a TV perspective. They are ex-video guys and ex-TV producers who have come into the market. And we are the only company, in a way, at least publicly so far, which has taken a gamer's take on virtual reality for sports specifically.
Fan of Netflix, download the Netflix virtual reality app, put it inside this device.
Oh wow.
Why Netflix, even LiveLike?
Or LiveLike, right? Yeah. Put this on, and right now in front of me I can see a giant screen, right?
Okay.
With a live game going on in front of it. If it was Netflix, you'd have a giant screen that actually shows, your Netflix experience.
Of course, funding is one of the most critical parts.
Yeah.
What is going on with funding with this product?
Virtual reality is a hot industry. Obviously, market dynamics, as in 2016, aren't completely conducive for funding as they were in 2015, but virtual reality has been an outlier in that sense. Everyone understands what the potential is, and there's a lot of money pouring into the market. We actually got into Techstars, which is a world-renowned accelerator, in 2015, and we have raised funding so far, and we are in the process of raising funds again for product development. And as and when we get more traction, we are going to need to recruit more so that Saswat is not doing all the work by himself.
Yeah.
So we are currently in the process of fundraising.
How are you bringing this product to India? Or what is the goal for that?
Let's see. So one of the things that we're looking to do, as we go out, right now we've focused on soccer, and we know soccer is huge in India. We're kind of creating an experience that works really well for a 90-minute sport. And I think we kind of have our sights set on the IPL, hopefully in the coming months. Or
IPL is coming up soon. I don't know how much we can do in that, given the time frame, but there's plenty of opportunities going forward. So we'll be definitely reaching out to the likes of BCCI and Star Sports and Sony, ESPN in the near future.
Krishna, imagine watching an IPL match with that fancy headgear and, really getting into the realm of virtual reality. We certainly hope Shashwat Panda brings that offering soon to India. But moving on to an Indian IT company here, Wipro's board member and Chief Strategy Officer Rishat Premji told ET Now in an exclusive interview that the company is looking at more acquisitions in the digital space and also investing in more startups because remember they had recently earmarked $100 million fund for that. Let's listen into what Rishat Premji had to say to Gauri Dwivedi in New Delhi.
So I think the strategy is not fundamentally changing. The focus very much is around execution. Our focus remains very much on our core business, which has been around infrastructure and application and operations. And then we have a change business, which is very much focused around the digital opportunity and what we can build there, how we can work with the startup ecosystem, how we can build capabilities through M&A. So the strategy fundamentally has not changed. It's just much more focused around execution.
But you will be more acquisitive in the digital space?
No, so we've done 3 acquisitions over the last 6 months in different areas. One has been in the digital space, where we bought a strategic design company. We bought a company in Germany for market access, and we bought something in the business process as a service space. So we will continue to be goal oriented and continue to look at ideas that make sense and help the company grow further going forward as well.
Will you also look at stepping up investments from the $100 million fund going forward that you've earmarked for startups?
Yeah, no, we're very excited about that fund, right? So the focus of the fund is how do we find a very systematic and structured way of engaging with the ecosystem, and we will continue to look at ideas that help us scale in terms of the capabilities that we build by partnering with those companies. So we would do that here in India, we're doing that in the US, and we're very excited because it's really enhancing our ability to take more innovative things to our customers.
So overall macro and demand that you're seeing for IT services?
No, I think it's still early in terms of budget closures, but I think overall it's it's fairly sort of stable moving into 2016, and we'll know more and have more clarity over the next coming few weeks.
And growth drivers that we can expect? What will be your growth drivers?
No, so the growth drivers are what we've talked about. We have certain verticals that we're driving very aggressively that are a big opportunity for us. We think the infrastructure space is still a great opportunity in that. We think much more as a service offerings will build, and that's a great opportunity for growth as well. And then new markets like Germany, which we've just invested in from an M&A lens, we're very excited about.
So Wipro is shopping, and all startups better watch out. On to the new series that we're kicking off today on the show called Next Big Star, where we put the spotlight on startups that could well become the unicorns of tomorrow. And today it is cardeko.com, and we have with us CEO and co-founder Amit Jain joining us here on the show. Amit, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on ET Now, Startup Central. Cardeko today is an online store for almost everything auto. How big is the market, and how big can you grow from here on?
In terms of business, there is immense opportunity, pretty obvious. We are trying to get every single dealer to a digital mode. We are also trying to get into the after sales of things, the car X3. So if you ask me how big is the market, it's like a huge market. India sells 2.8 million vehicles, new cars a year, and similar amount of vehicles and used cars are sold. So from my perspective, we are not even 3% there in terms of what penetration we need to have in terms of revenues, in terms of what we need to do. But it's a growing market. India is getting digital. I'm pretty happy about it.
Quicker and Carvale is also in a similar space. So in that sense, Amit, how would you really define your competition, and how do you stand out?
So my pitch is very simple. We basically differentiate ourselves on superior technology, the kind of solutions we are able to bring about, and the consumer experience that we basically bring to the end consumer. I think that's what I've been working on, frankly, and that's what basically makes our products click. Practically, if you see our new solutions, the next gen we have built around virtual reality, augmented reality solutions, it will be a very new way consumers are going to look at cars going forward. And that's what we're going to give to all dealerships across the country. We're pretty upbeat about the technology we have built so far, and we'll keep on building new technology that basically keeps us way ahead, miles ahead.
Amit, I want to ask you this, what is your strategy in terms of, expanding your reach and stepping up marketing? What is the game plan there going forward?
So we are basically now present in almost 60 cities in the country. Last year, same time, we were like 25 cities. So this year, we have basically gone into the next tier 2 and tier 3 cities, which are obviously the markets that we are focused on now. The reach is expanding rapidly. We now work with almost 2,000 plus new car dealers and almost 5,000 used car dealers. So reach has been increasing, and this year again you'll see us penetrating even more further, and we should be present in 120, 130 cities. In terms of marketing, we have obviously taken the TV route and we have advertised on television. You might have seen our ads. We do a very strategic piece of marketing currently. Unlike most of the other brands, we have been conservative about how basically you have to invest, and we have invested a lot more on our product. The product is my marketing tool, frankly. If consumers love the product, they spread it automatically.
Amit, tell us about the overall traction you're seeing, and also, the 2 or 3 key goals that you have over the next 12 months.
We are looking to double our revenues, frankly. In terms of team strength, we should be adding almost 800 to 1,000 more people in the team. You should see us present in almost 120 cities as we move on into next 12 months. We'll also be very active in terms of the car ownership business that we have taken up, the tires, the batteries, and after sales, basically car servicing, etc. You should see us very actively present there. Car insurance and car finance is also something that you should see tremendously grow. We have already seen 200% growth in last year. So we are pretty upbeat about all the other related stuff also, apart from just car sales.
Amit, before we let you go, one final thing I wanted to check with you. There's also this buzz of Google Capital investing in your firm. Tell us, when is that closing? And also, are you actively scouting for funds at this point of time?
Honestly, we have enough funds in the pocket right now. If we do pick up any investment, it will be primarily because of the brand of the fund, or if we see some strategic value we can get from the fund. Since the deal is not yet done, I should not be speaking anything. It's under NDA, so I would neither confirm nor affirm at this stage.
Thanks so much for talking to us, Amit Jain, and we will be tracking Car Dekho continuously because we are calling you the next big star. So hopefully we will come back to you for updates. But moving on, Google's Sundar Pichai has another feather to his cap, because he just became the highest ever paid CEO in the US because of a stock grant of $199 million from the company. Of course, encashing this on a quarterly basis is incumbent on him staying on at Google, but clearly another feather to his cap, and it's the largest ever stock grant given by Google. Of course, now the parent is Alphabet, to any executive of the company. So clearly Krishna Sundar Pichai ringing in millions and millions of dollars there. But what do we have next?
Well, I just have a big sigh, when I'm looking at those numbers that Sundar Pichai is raking into his bank account. But on our special segment today on the best advice that some of the startups have got, we have Gururaj Deshpande himself, legendary Silicon Valley venture capitalist and serial entrepreneur, sharing the best advice he has ever received in his career. Listen in.
So the best advice I got is to when you hire people and it doesn't work out, not to take a long time to fire them. And the best advice I got is, so how do you know whether you should fire somebody or keep somebody? I think if the person walks into your room and if he gives you a resignation letter, the question is, do you feel good about it? Or do you feel really bad and want to keep him? There are a lot of situations where you wish somebody goes away, but you're not quite ready to fire them. So whenever you have somebody that you think is not working out, move quickly and fire them.
On to some news that's buzzing around in the world of startups. Then Tata Sons' chairman emeritus Ratan Tata has made his 6th startup investment in 2016. Tata has invested an undisclosed amount in B2B industrial products marketplace Moglix. Moglix is Tata's 6th investment in the growing startup ecosystem after investments in startup research platform Traction, pet care portal DogSpot, baby and maternity care online retailer First Cry, next generation cancer therapeutic Invictus Oncology, as well as in cashback and coupons venture Cash Karo. The hyper-local delivery space, however, continues to be plagued with problems. Gurgaon-based grocery delivery app Pepper Tap is the latest to shut its operations in multiple cities. The delivery startup has shut operations in 10 cities, including metros like Mumbai, Chennai and Kolkata. Backed by online retailers Snapdeal and venture fund Sequoia Capital, Peppertap will continue to operate in 8 cities. And with that, it's time for number crunching with Chandra.
That's right. The number we are crunching today is 2.5 lakh. Now, why is that number significant? Because that's the number of jobs that the e-commerce space is likely to generate in 2016, and hiring is going to go up by 60 to 65%. So even as you hear about ramp downs and operations getting consolidated, it looks like the appetite for talent is still very high in the e-commerce space. That really brings us to the end of a very power-packed show today, Krishna. From Bangalore to Mumbai to Silicon Valley, I guess we've covered all the geographies that count in the startup world.
360-degree coverage right here only on ET Now Startup Central, and that's right, we do come to the all good things come to an end. This one comes to an end as well, but coming up next is Market Watch, so keep watching ET Now.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/ETNow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at ETNowLive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/ETNow.